everybody. Welcome to this edition of Two Sideways. I am Demetra K, and I'm sitting next to Donovan John Ross and Hyden Hanson D. As I said the other day, as long as he's here, you guys are I got to deal with him for a little bit. So anyway, we're going to get right into it. As you guys have seen, and as I always say, if you've lived, unless you lived under a rock, you know that Cardi B has made it known to the world, although it was already speculated, that she was pregnant by her boyfriend, Offset of the Migos, a famous, one of the, I guess, the most popular rap groups in the world now. And so she has come out on Saturday Night Live with her belly bump, I guess you can say, showing. And so she also said it's very freeing to not have to hide it anymore and to let everybody know that she is indeed pregnant. Now, Cardi B is 25. As you guys know, she just came out with an album, the first day in gold. So she's got enjoying all this mega success.
She's been replaced, Nicki Minaj.
Nicki Minaj and all the other, women in the rap game. So, of course, we're not taking
Illuminati.
Anything, really. We're not taking anything away from Cardi B. Some people say that, she's a success story. In some regards, she is a success story.
Yeah, hoeing pays.
Well, I guess, from the pole to where you're at now, I guess.
From the pole to the hole.
Be successful. I don't know her true story of what all she went through, but I'm not going to take anything away from her in regards to that. Now, my issue is this, and I know this is probably where a lot of people are going to want to go back and forth, and that's fine. However, even with all I just said about her being successful and all this other stuff, I'm saying that Cardi B should not be celebrated. Maybe not Cardi B, but her pregnancy should not be celebrated. Okay, for one, she's 25. I'm not taking nothing away from her either, because I was 21 when I had my child. However, I did not have a child by a man that has 3 children already and a possible 5th, because some Instagram so-and-so model is also saying he is the father of her child. So Cardi B is the 4th, potentially 5th baby mama by Offset, who is, I think he's 26, a young guy himself. I don't even know if the kids are, 3, older than 3, maybe older than 4. They're all very young. And so here we have all these celebrities from Beyonce, T.I., and P. Diddy, all these people.
All right, girl. Congratulations for not being married and bringing another bastard into the world.
Right.
Thank you.
Celebrating that. And I'm like, wow.
We need more bastards.
But where have we gone, society? Have we gone that far into the bowels of low self-esteem to where now we are applauding people? And hey, listen, I don't even have a dog in the fight as to whether you're married or not. I think that's a perfect decision. But we're now applauding a young girl who is the 4th, potentially, as I said, 5th baby mama, and he's married none of these women. There's all these children, as you said, and which is technically true, all these bastard children in the world, and nobody is holding this man accountable, not to mention that this man, Offset, has been caught numerous of times cheating on Cardi B with other women.
Well, it's obvious that Cardi B has self-esteem, because a woman with her worth would not stand for that, and she would put demands on that man.
But she's telling the world, you know what? I wasn't perfect. I'm sticking with him, for lack of better words.
She's taking the Amber Rose thing.
Yeah, I'm sticking by him. You guys are probably getting cheated on too. So why are you?
And that's the biggest cop out in the world, when you put your problems or your deficiencies on somebody else. Because I guarantee you, most people would not be putting up with that shit. She has low self-esteem and she's full of shit.
So let's just let's put it all together, shall we? Sure. We got this mixing bowl. You got Cardi B, who is at the top of her game. And I'll be honest with you, I listened to a few of our new songs. Not bad.
Got the new shoes.
Not that one.
We're going to be with the rules.
I don't know about that. But the songs aren't bad, so I'm not going to
Sounds like she's hard, but okay.
That's, what, some people have said that, but it's whatever. So I'm not, some of the songs aren't bad.
I'm so excited, my vagina.
I'm not going to hate on the songs. So we got a mixing bowl. We put Cardi B in there. We put, the fact that her man is not faithful to her. You put the fact she's the fourth, maybe fifth baby mama. And you stir it all around, and then you serve it. The final ingredients to all these young, impressionable girls and some women.
Deep down inside.
I mean, Oprah was even on her social media saying she's listening to Cardi B.
There's nothing worse than an old bitch trying to be young.
Oh!
There's nothing worse than that. Age gracefully. Listen to your Temptations. Listen to your Four Tops. Listen to your David Ruffins. Stop trying to be young. You look ridiculous talking about, like right now, you say the Amigos. I don't know who the fuck that is.
I only know who they are because there's
and
people.
Well, and the thing is, you're also into the media thing, so you have to be above that, being a PR person. But what I'm saying is, at my age, I don't know who the fucking Amigos are. When my kids about music, I don't know what they're talking about. Just like when our parents, when we would talk about our artists, know who we're talking about.
I know what they got a song you might like. Honestly, it's
called
the Ric Flair Drip, and they got Ric Flair in the video.
Yeah,
yes.
I saw that on
right.
Thing.
So you might,
Ric Flair fan. That's why. So
I sent it to Alan. He was like, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Ric. Okay, great.
Right, but my point is, I don't know these artists. Right. If I do like it, because I'm gonna tell you real quick. I'm gonna cut you off. My mom doesn't know a lot of our generation of rappers, but she used to love this song by Mystical. Danger! Watch yourself and shake your ass. Yeah, my mom loved that song. And the reason she would say that because when she would talk to us about when I have a new girlfriend or something like that, my mom would go, danger! She just, it was something that clicked in her.
Well, she is from Louisiana.
Louisiana. She's an army, chick. Yeah. So, she likes to tell it like it is.
She was like, Mom, do you know who you're listening to?
No, she had no idea who the artist was, but she liked the song.
Who Mystical is.
And there's another song that my mom's starting to play now.
What?
Don't know where to hide it.
Kinda gonna get you. I'm gonna make sure you watch this.
I'm telling you guys, that's gonna be a million seller. Watch.
I'm gonna make sure you watch this segment right here. That is too funny.
First 7 minutes. Tell her watch 7:20.
I'm gonna tell her. So back to Cardi B. So then you have Cardi B, who was now pregnant. I don't know. She looks like she's pretty far along, and
everybody bust up in her. Mm-hmm.
But nobody. I think Wendy Williams called her. I haven't watched it, but I heard that she called her out. Mm-hmm. Basically saying, you're not married to this cat. He's got all these other kids. It's just like, but for the most part, nobody's called her out and said, you know what? I'm sorry. At some point in time, not calling her. I'm not saying that Cardi, because I know how y'all feel about Cardi B. I'm not scared of y'all either, so we can get them up.
And then let me know how you feel, because I can show you a video of her, doing what she does.
I'm not saying she's not a decent person. She seems like she's a nice
Everybody's
person.
Decent.
Right. Not everybody. Something,
Everybody starts out decent. But
I just think the perception of Cardi B is not good,
right?
Especially for our young girls. Like
when
we were coming up, we were told
keep your leg closed.
Well, that too, but find somebody respectable. Find somebody who's nice. Somebody who may not have a reputation. Somebody who's decent.
Can I ask you a question real quick?
Right.
Going to what you just said. How, when we were coming up, if you saw a guy that had tattoos all over his face and basically disqualified himself for employment, would you give that guy a chance?
No, when we were coming up, because that was odd. The people you saw like that were, and not to be mean, you saw them in a freak show or something. Mm-hmm. That's where those people who tattooed their whole body and stuff, you saw them like on a circus.
Right, but nowadays with jobs being limited out there as it is, and I've got tattoos all over my face and stuff like that, and you're a beautiful woman. You're a beautiful woman. Why would you even give that guy a chance? He's already disqualified himself for employment. Gainful employment. You know what I mean? When I say gainful meaning he'll get benefits if he stays with the company long enough and divest in the company.
Well, I could actually argue that both sides of it, because I'm good at arguing both sides. Somebody might say, well, he's really a nice guy. He owns his own company. And, I don't see the tattoos. But then on the other hand, be like, no, I can't be walking down the street with you. Okay? I just... It's like making a vinegar and peanut butter sandwich. We just we can't can't do this. And so, no, I agree. But like I said, back in our day, that was weird to see something like that. Like, oh my God, you see him? He's got a tattoo of some lips on his cheek or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, when they look totally unemployable, as a woman, why would I make a decision to spend my life with that person or have a baby for that person and be tied to that person?
Well, I guess, but see, this is I'm glad you brought that point up, because I think what a lot of people realize is Cardi B and Offset got a lot of money. I don't know if he's got all the tattoos on his face or not, but they've got a lot of money to where they can, talk about stripping and hoeing and, having the tattoos all over themselves, and they'll be fine. They can take care of their kids. But to the average Joe or Sally or whoever, that's being glorified to them. Okay. And the way we're going now with a lot of these parents are asleep at the wheel. Hell, a lot of the parents are trying to be what Cardi B doing, doing what she's doing rather. And so she's being presented as this, as the litmus test for success. But nobody is saying, as I said earlier, that's not successful. To bring a child into the world who's got 3, potentially 4 other brothers and sisters by this one dude who didn't see any of their mamas worthy enough of making them Mrs. Offset or whatever, I don't even know the guy's name. So, I don't know. To me, that's baffling. And then, when I think about our moms, and I would say women my age, I think about somebody named Tokyo Tony, who is Black Chyna's mother, who, from what I understand, is also a stripper. And she walks around, acting ratchet, for lack of better words, with the, the nails and the crop tops and the, just
and looking
the
at
worst language.
And seeing her now at her age now, she's not a very.
And I don't even think she's older than me.
Right.
I think she's 40.
She looks like she's in almost coming up on 60.
Well, I mean, it's a hard life to be hustling and hoeing and just doing the most. That's not that I know from experience, but I would imagine that's very taxing on you to be trying to figure out how you're gonna get over on the next minute. Right. And so
your wheels are spinning on a constant basis.
You got mamas like that who are teaching their daughters the way to get up and get over is to do that kind of stuff. So
Deanna's up in San Francisco?
San Francisco studying.
Okay, good. I just want to make that clear in case anybody tries to throw any shade at you. Good.
So, I mean, and to that point, and I don't think any of her friends watch this, but if they do, hopefully I'll give you a word. She's got a lot of her that are stripping. Yeah. They're stripping, and I'm not talking about what's the big time strip club? I don't know what that is. I know you always talking about the nasty kitty. Yeah,
the nasty kitty. Magic City.
Okay, well, they ain't at Magic City. They had the hole in the wall.
Deja Vu.
At the backwoods, city. Yeah. It's stripping for dudes who are throwing nickels up there. Right.
But I make $1,000 a night. But you can't get your teeth fixed.
Right. So it's like, that is being glorified. I don't know. Some may call me approved, say I'm old fashioned. I don't mind being called old fashioned, actually. Absolutely. Because I think, when we are what you call old fashioned values, we ended up better people.
Sure. Yeah, at the time we resent it, but then when we come into our own and we realize, you know what, Mama Otis was right.
Or when you see somebody like Cardi B who's being celebrated and congratulated for being a mama, the fifth or fourth baby mama, she's 25.
Yeah, and see, and don't get me wrong. It'd be proper to congratulate somebody. That's the proper thing to do, even though you don't probably believe it. But like you said, she's only 25 years old. To me, I think it's a media thing where they're teaching these girls, let just anybody bust up in you and do whatever. And let me clarify, like I always clarify, and and other people have clarified on their show. I'm talking from personal experience. I have a lot of girl cousins. Right. I have a niece right now that has selected a father for her child, and he's not even a father, from the gutter. You know what I mean? And she had all the tools to do whatever. So I'm not saying it just happens to people that are in the ghetto.
Oh, no,
it can happen to anybody.
I totally agree with you on that. But what I'm saying is when you have somebody like a Cardi B and all the other people who are presented as the litmus test, as I said, for success and the model of making it, then it's like, I mean, I guess I'm not even really mad at her because I'm not mad at her. I'm more concerned about why there's not people coming out saying the opposite. Right. Yes, great that a new baby is coming into the world, but Damn it.
Hey, future councilwoman Shaylinda Bernard, my girl, she said, "Oh, no, do not hate on Cardi B. She's only 25.
Oh.
She just said.
Well, I mean, I get it. You know, she's 25. She's young. When I was 25 yesterday, I didn't have it all together, but I didn't do those things either. When I was 25, my daughter was embarking on being 4, and so I was, years deep into being her mama.
But again, if you're 25 and you're a woman, okay, you're not a young woman. You're basically in your stride.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I'm gonna be 47 on Friday.
Happy birthday! You said you were going. You told me you were 37.
I know, right? To me, 25 is a child.
You know, it is.
Because I know I was still not chronologically a child, but there's a lot I didn't know.
Well, no, a lot you don't know, but what I'm saying is you're not 18 where you're that naive. You're naive, but you're a little bit removed from being under your parents' tutelage and stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You know what I mean? What I'm saying is you're in your stride.
Right.
You know, you might not know everything.
You should be on the you should be on your journey of discovery at that point, to where, I get what you're saying. So when you're not 18, like you're,
I don't know what's going on.
But by 7 years, you should have evolved and, maybe gotten some education.
Sure.
Something.
You're into your career.
Which is where I was. And listen, I'm not tooting my own horn. I wasn't perfect, although I wasn't stripping. Mm-hmm. But I did take it upon myself to do better and to learn, because I was mentoring a child, which was my own, and trying to teach her, the way to go. Right. And I didn't want her to see that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, I know Cardi B is 25, but let's not say we don't even fault her, but I'm faulting the rest of society and people who are celebrating that. You don't know because you weren't there. I weren't there. Right. But we've all heard stories of our parents, that cousin or friend who mysteriously disappeared for 9 months. Yeah,
they disappeared,
Oh, she went up north to live with her cousins for a while just to get to do experience, and then she comes back.
She has to go help her grandmother. She's getting older, so we sent her up there to...
Yeah, right, but they dropped her, but she was really pregnant.
Right, and auntie's taking care of the baby.
Right, mm-hmm. And then 25, 30 years later, the family finds out, oh, that's your child?
Like the Joe Jackson, Michael Jackson daughter theory.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. So... But the reason I bring that up is because back then, and I'm not saying it was right, but there was some shame on, girls who, I guess, in a way, they shamed by getting pregnant out of wedlock.
But you know what? But that's back in our day, and even before our day, that was the whole key. Shaming was everywhere. If you didn't keep up with your classmates, you were shamed because you got left behind.
And if things weren't as out of control as they were, as they are now. Mm-hmm. But now...
you got people graduating college that didn't really graduate.
Okay.
Okay? All right? You got it all on Facebook, and then when people ask you about it, now, you got to be involved in the cover-up, or whatever you want to call it.
You all up in the line, even though you was in the line. You talking about you, though, girl.
Yeah, and I don't want to be caught up with that, you know what I mean? But, but why would I be caught up? If you're asked a question like that, I'm going to tell you the truth. Well, no, that maybe that didn't happen.
But there you have it. We had one point in time, and we ain't even talking 50 some years ago.
We're talking just a lot. Our kids' generation.
Right. Or hell, our generation. We're on the tail end of that where, Susie Ann, she went to live with her, auntie up north. Right. Then 9 months later, skipping back.
Or we're about to graduate, whatever. All of a sudden, February, so-and-so transfers schools.
Exactly.
You're like, wait a minute, we're all seniors. Why would you...
Now at the school we went to, they've got 3 nurseries. Yeah. But when we were going there back in the day, it was unheard of. It was, okay, we understand that you've, become pregnant, Jen. So what we're going to do is send you over here to the school for, mothers.
Wayward teens.
Yeah, so you can get your education and tend to your baby. But now it's like, we're going to build some nurseries on the school.
Right. Well, the thing is, it's a good thing they didn't have that, because if I knew how your sister would have turned out now...
Y'all would have built that nursery up.
She would have been a sophomore on her second. Okay? On her second. So...
But yeah, I mean, we just got to get... I don't know... I don't even know if there's something that can be fixed at this point.
Well, and I agree with you. Like I said, where is the other side saying this is not right?
You know why? I'm going to tell you where the other side is. Okay. Because me and you ain't no punks. Our heart don't pump no Kool-Aid around here.
You see, because I got the bees.
That's right. Okay. But what it is now I got to get more dignified.
Right.
We got to let the gangster out every once in a while.
Yeah, let y'all know. We come real.
What happened is the other side is scared. Because they don't want everybody else to chastise them and say, "Oh, how dare you go against the grain?" And status quo. Everybody loves Cardi B.
But how are we supposed to get better? And these young people get better if we don't tell them this is right, this is wrong. It's not
an issue of getting
this is left, anymore. This is right.
It's not an issue of getting. It's an issue of times are changing.
You know what? And
they're not like it used to be. You're just old.
You know, it's funny that you say that because Pastor Don podcast. If you guys get a chance, go to Reflections Ministries. You'll see the podcast up there. He was talking about how people are. You've got some Christians out there that say, "Oh, the Old Testament's not relevant. This ain't relevant. That ain't. It's all about." A lot of people. I've heard people say that. What's the word you use? Apostle.
I know what you're talking about, but I don't ask me to pronounce it.
But listen to the podcast, and it's really true what he's saying. How people. It's all about how they feel. Oh, that is. You know people that I actually believe he was saying that. You know, when it's all said and done, and everybody gets raptured, I'm gonna go to heaven anyway.
But depending upon if you believe in the rapture.
True. Right.
You know, some people just don't believe in that.
Right.
So, but I know that's a whole other discussion.
No, but but he was saying how people have said this ain't relevant. They pick parts of the Bible. Oh, that ain't relevant. No.
Yeah, that's the kind of preaching that caters.
Yes. Yeah. You know, the preachers are they got people in their church, but they're empty-headed.
Right.
You're not teaching them anything. So when Jesus comes, people won't recognize him.
They're not Pastor Thaddeus Matthews.
Right. My man, Pastor that magical tongue. His magical lips. I got these magical. Really said that.
Yeah. But real.
But seriously though, and that's our problem. And I think it's a media made thing because one thing about our community, and I'm going to say this is my opinion, not Dee's opinion. We do the most. You give us a foot, we take a yard. In the worst way. When it comes to stuff that's supposed to better us, we won't take the yard.
Well, I'm glad you said that's not my opinion as well. Because I have this conversation with Al Quiet. When we talk about black people doing the most, I turn around and say, black people, we are very colorful people.
We are.
You know, people say black women are loud. Yes, we are loud. But that don't necessarily mean that it's bad. Not going to be bad if you add some other people. Sure. We just, we speak a little more loudly than other people. But that don't make us bad. You know, we're not going to, people have soirees. We have turn-ups.
Right.
White folks is what do you call it? Repast after the funeral. There, she was just such a lovely person. And they'd be like, yeah, you remember when she used to come and do this, that?
No, wait.
We are very colorful.
Wait,
people.
I'm going to give you a prime example. I want you to look at this clip right here, and this is the. And then they show how also. Wait, what's the word I'm going to use? When you collaborate really good and you're very imaginative.
Okay.
Black people are the most like I said, we do the most.
So eclectic and all of
eclectic. That. I mean, we come up with the greatest ideas.
You better believe it.
Okay. I want you to look at this clip and tell me what you think about it. Take a look real quick. All right. What you just saw there was that grandma that was at the club. Now, we propped her up. Everybody can remember at the repast that grandma was that chick at the club with the drink.
She was the one, okay?
How do you want to remember your grandma like that?
That's probably our grandma. Grandma probably always was turned up. Everybody probably wanted to go. You know, there was that grandma, that family member, that all the cousins, everybody wanted to go over there because that person was just, he was going to most fun over there.
Right.
So,
right. But, I don't want to see my grandma propped up with a drink at the table at the club during her repast.
It is what it is. But I like to differ rather when people say black people do the most.
Right.
I mean, we just have a different way of doing things.
Oh yeah, but what I'm saying,
nobody says none of the Hispanic people in the middle of the night when you hear the
yeah.
Nobody's saying they're doing the most.
Right. No, but when I say we're, I mean it in the most gracious way, and like we go all out
as we should.
Exactly.
As we should.
Absolutely. But, in Cardi B's case, like I said, the other side, I think that is a shame because I'll give you an example. I have this right now that had a baby. Nobody was praising her. Everybody's entitled to a mistake. Don't get me wrong. Everybody's entitled to a mistake. We didn't chastise her. She's entitled to that mistake.
Right. I didn't tell her wait for 9 months.
But yeah, we're not having no baby shower. We're not doing that. We're not celebrating that.
I mean, and that's another point too. And I'm not saying I don't have a dog in fight with the baby shower thing, but
no, I don't have a dog fight. You can have a baby shower, but
I get what you're
don't
saying.
expect me to put one on.
I get what you're saying, because it's like, of course, you're never gonna have a problem with another life coming into the world.
Absolutely
We're not saying anything with baby.
Yeah, the baby is not a fault.
But to your point, why would I celebrate? Because I'll celebrate you if you come in there saying, you know what, we got pregnant and we're also married. Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all did what y'all had to do. Now we can go from. It's like we're celebrating, stuff that should be. I don't want to say shame, but she'd be like, okay, well, this is something you did. Figure it out.
Right. And that's where she's at, right?
We're not going to be kicking our heels up and,
turning up. That's my baby over here.
We know you're going to bring some more home.
Right, exactly. And let me tell you, she has learned her lesson.
Right. I mean,
she's going through it, but she's learned her lesson. And knock on wood, we don't turn our backs on her, but if she's too prideful to ask for help when she really needs it, then that's on her. We're here for her, and we're here for the baby.
And speaking of, Pastor Thaddeus Matthews, some of you guys know he is what you call the cursing
pastor.
Where he, is flavorful in his language, but he keeps it real. He had a sermon last night talking about, and I forget the title of it, basically saying women who let men come and lay up with them, and then know they got kids somewhere else, but won't take care of or they're laying up with you and won't take care of the other kids
they got out. And then you get pregnant and expect them to take care of it.
Right. And so it's like, I mean, a lot of these girls, and he made this point too, they want to impose demands upon you, who, let's say the uncle, or her father, or even the system, but yet the dude is absolved of any responsibility. She ain't making him,
and that
do what he's supposed to do, and she mad at you.
That is exactly what's going on with my great nephew's father. The guy was nothing when she met him.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going on. He has been absolved of financial responsibility, from my knowledge. Because I'm not in her business, because she's grown. She is 25. From what I see as an older uncle, who's somebody who took care of his responsibilities, that ain't no man. You didn't get no man. I don't know what you got, but it wasn't a man.
But that, again, that's what Pastor Thaddeus Matthews said, too. And he made an example. He says a lot of times at their church, he says, what we don't do book bag giveaways and stuff like that. Yeah. He says, because I know somewhere down the line when you're getting your little check, instead of you going to get your kids some paper and pencils, you went off and, tricked your money off at the club or whatever you did.
Got your nails done, got your feet done.
Right. But it's like, he says, when they do come to church, he says, where your man at? And he says some of them are bold enough to say, oh, he at home. Wait, hold up. You down here at the church seeking something as menial as, I don't know, some paper or whatever this is, but you got a man laid up at home.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait. He said that? Oh, we got to boycott him and get him off YouTube. Right. He's like a Tommy Sotomayor. Right. No, how dare he hold us accountable?
Right, but so we get to that point, so bring it back to your whole baby scenario. Yeah, we're gonna celebrate. We're gonna celebrate a baby's life, but we ain't celebrating you and your baby daddy, who won't even. The child is important enough to form a family and to do the right thing. So we all supposed to spend our hard-earned money throwing y'all this grand baby shower. Everybody's supposed to bring all these and stuff, and y'all won't even make a commitment to the baby, but y'all want us to commit to the baby by coming to the baby shower and all that other stuff. So no, I agree.
True story. Yeah, true story. When I was in Alaska and my son was on the way, his mom had a big baby shower with, military all get together and have a big baby shower, right? Yeah, I was invited, and I went, and I showed up. Yeah, I was invited, because, we weren't together like that. But I show up, right? And it's a big cackling him, but I showed up. The reason why I showed up and I showed my face is because I had a job. I knew I was going to take care of my responsibilities.
Nobody's going to say, where
he's at.
Daddy at?
And, and I'm going to give this to a hint. To a lot of these young ladies, from my observation with my nieces and cousins, I have a lot of girl cousins and nieces, so I know what I'm talking about because I've watched and sat in silence, and I said, When you got a man that you can't even invite to the baby shower, I don't know if you're ashamed of him or whatever, you better go ahead and run down to that family support office because I don't think you're going to be getting any support because he can't support you during the baby shower. I don't know what else he's going to support you in.
But then again, too, society, and this is where we're going to get on the men. Okay, and let's just tie it all back to Cardi B. So
that's Al.
Hey, baby. So you got society saying, "Oh, Cardi B, she's pregnant. Oh, whoopee, you know,
I want your baby too."
But what they're not also realizing is you're saying to these young women,
it is okay.
Oh, it's okay to get with a dude.
A loser.
Who got all these baby mamas.
Yeah, don't just say, dude, this loser.
Who ain't, in their lives and think enough for them to marry them or even stay with them.
Right.
Now, he's 26. Well, damn. You just laying it all over the doggone place.
And could somebody please explain to me, how could you be under the age of 25 and have 3-4 kids? Who is taking care of those kids?
Because you made this point earlier. Well, obviously, because he's offset and he's got this money, but these women are putting money over their self-esteem and they're not imposing any demands upon him. Because you know what? If I'm going to be that type of woman, but again, too, it's a money grab for them. Shoot, if I have a baby for him, shoot, I got to check. I ain't got to work.
But why aren't these boys covering up? Because herpes and syphilis, herpes is forever.
They're not covering up, and I could be wrong. Because nowadays, these women, girls to say, aren't imposing any demands upon them. They know more than likely their daddy, I don't know where the daddy is. I'm not saying he's not in the picture, but they know that little girl's daddy, little girl to me, is not going to go knock on his door. Right. Remember how they used to do when you get in the family way? Or you knock somebody's daughter up? Win the wedding. And he's saying that to you while he holding a shotgun.
Yeah, exactly.
You ain't finna do running rough shot all through my daughter and then leave her with the bag.
Yeah.
You gonna make it right or we gonna make something happen to you.
Yeah, I remember your dad has been calling me lately. When's the wedding?
But I'm serious. I'm sure there's a lot of men who will tell you.
Right.
Yeah.
I
didn't really want to get married, but her uncles and them.
Yeah, well, remember I told you my high school sweetheart in Japan?
Yeah.
When I started dating her, I had to go to her father to ask permission even to date her, just to date.
Why aren't we talking about that?
Right.
Why aren't we saying, you know what? Offset is probably a lovely dude, and evidently he's got some special power, magical tongue,
magical lips.
Evidently, but why aren't we saying that, girls?
Just don't do this.
If you think he's a lovely dude, bring him by your daddy house.
Yeah.
And have him sit down with your daddy so your daddy can check him out.
Well, for all you guys that love Beyonce, she told you the blueprint. If he really wants you that, he'd put a ring on it.
But he put a ring on it and he cheated on it and made an album about him cheating on her. She made an album about him cheating on her too. So it's like we listen to people who at the end of the day all these money bags, but the advice and the stuff they're singing about on their records they're not adding up.
Right.
It doesn't, like, to me, I'm a logical person when I think. I like to connect the dots.
Right.
So since you brought up Beyonce, she's telling you if he love you, he put a ring on it, however she's saying it. He puts a ring on it and he cheats the majority of your marriage. So it's like, you done gave all these women, girl, he love you, which is true. I agree with that. If he loves you, or I don't know how the lyrics go, he would put a ring on. I agree with that.
Right. Okay.
What she's saying, I guess, is he would make you an honest woman. Okay? Now that he done made you an honest woman,
stay off that pole
on you. And so you have these, they're about to go on the run again, on the run with your money. But they're going to tell you this is, to me, it's like, I see it like this opera.
Right.
She's going to say, he cheated on me. I cheated on her. And then, and then somebody's going to be taking your money. It's like, I'm confused.
Yeah.
If I was young and I didn't have a brain of my own, I'd be confused. Our kids, are we staying? Are we leaving?
Right.
Are we having lemonade? What are we doing here?
Mr. Jackson says, my stepmom was so ghetto, she had her food stamps in a money clip.
Get over here, go somewhere.
Yeah.
Go somewhere.
Ain't you supposed to be at work?
Yeah, he off now. Oh my God. Talking about I'm balling.
Yeah.
I'm balling.
But no,
and she pulled it out of her bra.
Right. But that's a good point that you make. I mean, I think it's a conspiracy by the Illuminati and this entertainment industry to because they know that these people have so much influence over these kids that aren't looking up to their parents as their role models, and it's helping destroy the community. I
mean, and I love that you brought that point up. Beyonce says put a ring on it. that she's cheated on. And so Beyonce, who is probably one of the most popular women in history, not even just now, but in history, she has told a lot of young girls and a lot of women my age and probably her. I mean, not that Betty Wright didn't do it back in the day, but Betty Wright wasn't as popular as Beyonce. It's okay. Because I wouldn't give my daughter that advice. If my daughter was going through that, if somebody was cheating on her, I'd be like, girl, I didn't teach you to go through that. You see me go through stuff like that. I've taught you to do differently. Get your self-esteem, pick it up, and go. Because somebody who would cheat on you like that,
they've done it once, they're going to do it again.
Yeah,
they're going to do it again.
They didn't think enough of you, but what I'm asking you to do is think enough of yourself. Now, that's what the message these celebrities should be giving.
Stop celebrating the person, because to me, I'm sorry, there's no excuse in the modern age why women are ending up pregnant. There's just no excuse for that.
Well, we know how, because it's just this part.
Well,
of
course, but what I'm saying is, if I was like you, 25, Deanna's already here, but I'm saying you didn't repeat.
I learned, and I don't want to call liking my daughter to a lesson. I would say it was a lesson for me to learn. And again, I say that because I wasn't out there like that anyway. I didn't do anything any typical 21-year-old person was doing.
True.
But I learned my lesson. And for me, more importantly, I didn't want to take her through the nonsense.
Exactly.
I want her to have a mama who was turning up in the club, while I'm leaving her here and there. I didn't want her to have
Or think about this, having her experience her siblings' daddies picking them up and treating her differently and so on and so forth.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't, like I said, I don't have any hope in, morals getting restored. I just think it's going to get worse. Yeah. But I would just impress upon people, fathers, mothers, whoever, you got immediate influence over your children. Teach them differently than what they're seeing. Yeah. That needs to start now.
Yeah, sorry, Cardi B is not somebody to look up to. She's an entertainer. She's good at what she does. I've researched her past. That is not somebody I would want my daughters trying to emulate.
But again, if you got Oprah and them saying, congratulations, this is awesome, then what do you do?
Guess what? I don't want my kids emulating Oprah, because that shows that she can't make good decisions.
There you go. But as a parent who is influential in your child's life, that no one will ever be more influential than you.
Than me, exactly.
But a lot of people don't understand that. And
I have to give my mom, looking back on it now, like we were talking about earlier, you look at our parents, you say, well, damn, that was fucked up, but when you get older and you mature and you say, wow, now I understand what she was saying.
Now I get it.
Now I get it. Because me and my brother are 13 months apart. And it was Vietnam during then, so my dad came and took care of some business.
Gotta go.
Yeah, gotta go, right. And they were married, okay? Right. She didn't have any more children after me.
Right.
And, I remember a long time ago, I talked to her and I said, why do you have any more children? She says, I don't want, you guys, and she told me that. I didn't want this set being treated any different than that, because that's human nature.
Said he was coming, but your daddy didn't show up. But y'all daddy, he's outside.
Right. Right. And that has a traumatic experience on kids. And then you're tied to that person for the rest of your life.
But, again, too, that's a personal decision. I know that was a situation for me.
Right.
I'll be honest, and I never really even wanted kids.
Neither did I.
But I had one, and I love her. Wouldn't do it. If I had to do it all again, I would do it. But I just was never one of those people who wanted a whole bunch of kids.
Yeah,
and I sure wasn't going to be with a whole bunch of dudes.
Yeah, and nonsense.
None of that. No. Because her daddy me through the stuff.
Right.
He made a believer out of me.
Right. You said, fool me once?
You ain't going to fool me again. Okay? I know that.
Well, what did he say? What did he say? I get the job done.
Now he's saying, you got what I need.
We're having too much fun on this show today. But real quick, we got about 5 minutes left on this section of the podcast, and we'll probably cross it over into the second half, because I have something to speak about it too. D, you recently, well, you know what? We'll keep that for the second podcast. But for those that know, in the city of Moreno Valley, because this is the ethical page, whatever, for the candidates for Moreno Valley. There was a golf course meeting last night. Please check it out on Inland Empire Informer. The developer, we are getting ready Thursday, 6 p.m. Please show up for the Planning Commission meeting. We need all the support we can gather to make sure that this goes through. There's a lot of naysayers out there, and it's funny that the naysayers, of course, they get a check from Highland Fairview, and they live on the east side of the city.
Right.
But yet they're going to be there trying to down talk the project. Now, we have a developer, a good friend of mine, named Ido Bendizi. Bad businessman, doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Oh.
However, He's been in the city for like 30 years, yet in 30 years, he cannot articulate one thing that he's done for the citizens and the community of Moreno Valley. It's been take. Now, this developer that is doing the golf course, he has already invested $1 million ahead of approval. Like right now, if they don't approve that project, he just lost $2 million out his damn pocket.
Wow.
He's bringing in a Boys and Girls Club. In these apartments, he's doing a lot of stuff. I mean, he has put above board what he wants to do. And what I'm saying is the proof is in the pudding. He has done that. He has to pay his tump up front. We don't make Ito pay his tump fees up front. He pays it off the back. And the tump fees are basically like these millions of dollars that they got to pay for the environment or whatever it is. And that way, we get our money up front in case anything happens. Oh. And this guy, he doesn't have to pay it.
Okay.
But this guy had to.
Right.
And he paid badly. Okay, it's no problem.
Well, maybe Ito doesn't have the money per se.
Well, he has the money, but he owns the city.
Right.
So, but what I'm saying, though, when developers have to pay that money up front, a lot of things that they say happen.
Right.
But when you don't have to pay it up front, things can change.
I'll just tell you whatever.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to need you guys to come out in support of the project. A lot is at stake. Boys and Girls Club. If you're over there, it's a dead golf course. Correct. Now, if you live by that golf course, your property values are in the toilet. But if the golf course was at least partially working, your property values go up. So it's a win-win. You got people that can learn to play golf. You can bring people to play golf. A lot of stuff going on. But if you missed the meeting, please go to Inland Empire and Inform. The video is there. We're going to keep you informed as much as possible and keep that going. But in the next segment, we are going to talk about something that is very dear to my heart.
Which I have no clue as to what that is.
Yes, you do.
I do. Okay.
Yes, you do. Because you saw the video, you sent the video to me, and we're going to talk.
I sent you a lot of videos.
Yes.
I have no idea.
But we are going to talk about the professional ethics of beauticians.
Oh Lord!
Who?
Let me get my
yes,
in my
yes,
cup.
And I'm not going to even really address the fools that are going to these people who are supposed to be ethically in charge in what they're doing. We're going to be talking about the professionals that continue to let this stuff happen and help.
And lucky for you, I have some background in cosmetology.
And there we go.
Win-win situation.
Win-win situation. So you guys stand by for part 2, and we are going to get back to that. And I can't wait because I am going to be in rare form.
Really?
Hey, this is To the Highway. D. Donovan will be back in just a second. We got to pay some bills.
I love my life, I love my wife, but bad times prevail and overwhelm me. I'm living in hell, but living wealthy. And no